Couch slouch.
There you go.
You suck.
End of the line!
Welcome back to Tied Down TV, the punk rock opinion show with me, Danny.
And Geoff.
Next 20 minutes, we're going to be talking to you about crossover thrash. What can you tell us about crossover thrash?
Well, I mean, its origins, I think, are a bit, not maybe hard to nail down completely. I think it became more of a thing in the 80s. I think Suicidal Tendencies are probably the band you could say, maybe the first crossover band, 83. That album came out, and I know it influenced a lot of the Bay Area thrash bands, Violence and Death Angel, were taking notes, Metallica, stuff like that as well. It's, as we said in the American Hardcore Part 2 video, we were talking about bands getting more melodic and more metallic as well. I think tying into the fact that they all maybe became better players and songwriters. So, better songwriters, maybe writing more tuning, melodic stuff, more technical players, more metallic, still want to play fast in the hardcore style, but leads, solos, two guitarists. A lot of the bands, when they got a second guitarist, tended to go more metallic. Agnostic Front and such did the same thing. I think you look at Discharge in the UK, they're the ones I think who you probably nailed down as being the first band to maybe blur the lines between metal and punk. And Void in the US as well. I think their side of the split with the Faith is definitely them trying to play metal, basically. I think. Yeah, I think that like you say, Suicidal Tendencies, and there's a couple of other bands that'll probably pop up in this list that we can say are OGs of the style, definitely. Yeah,
I've been asked a few times during this, like, are you doing a crossover video? I was talking to a few people at a gig last night, and they were saying, like, when it comes to crossover, would you? What defines crossover? Because it is something with hip hop in it. Crossover. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could argue that, there's a lot of things that cross over.
Crossover is like a blanket term.
Yeah, really it is.
It's just two genres coming together.
Yeah, but we're talking for the sake of this video, we're talking about
channel where we talk about punk and hardcore. If you say someone into punk and hardcore, you say crossover.
Yeah, so basically we're talking crossover thrash here, aren't we? Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm looking at your little stack you've got, and I'm looking at mine that I've put together, and we realised we've both picked a different album by the same band, and you've picked something from their maybe slightly earlier era, and I've picked something from their little bit after.
Mid-period.
Yeah. Both great.
Yeah.
But it shows that what area I came from and what area you came from into this.
Definitely.
So go on, you show yours first.
My first pick, I'm going with Dealing With It by D.R.I. Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. Fucking
Couch slouch.
There you go.
You suck.
And it's fucking great. I'd rather be sleeping in my bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking tune after tune. The best crossover band, aren't they?
In my opinion, they are the best crossover band.
I'm mine too.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about an opinion, innit? At the end of
pound
the day.
for pound, I would say they are.
Song for song, the fucking tunes, man, all across the career. It's great. Definitely more of a hardcore-ish than straight up thrash sounding album. But it's definitely got those elements coming in already. This is like I guess you call it the first proper album, maybe, if you count the Dirty Rotten EP or LP, whichever version you've got, as their first album. And this would be the second one, because that's also fucking great as well. But that's straight up hardcore, really. It's fucking great though. Like I say, it's still short. The songs are minutes and a half long. Fucking great though. Great band. Fucking just I could gush about them, like, but they're just class, like, and like you say, one of the best. And any period of their discography is pretty good.
It's not
pretty solid, isn't it?
It's not of theirs I dislike.
They've not got many bad, proper shit songs.
Yeah.
It's fucking great though. Go and check that. Like I say, it's easy to get hold of. It's on all the streamers as well. If you've not heard it, fucking check it out. You've probably seen that guy. It's fucking legendary band. Go and check them out. D.R.I. Dealing With It.
I've also picked D.R.I. I could have picked Four of a Kind. I could have picked Thrash Zone. But I've gone for the first D.R.I. album I ever bought. And this is the album that gave the genre its name, Crossover, D.R.I. It's we went to see D.R.I, didn't we? And I said to you on the car on the way there, I'll consider it a bucket list achievement if I stage dive at a D.R.I gig.
Yeah.
Proper classic thing to do. And what happened? I waited for my moment. 5-year plan. As soon as I heard the riff, I was crawling on heads from the back. Got carried to the front. Thrown onto the stage at the front. Some dude had smashed his head open on a PA at the front, as you remember.
Yeah.
I did a forward roll right through the blood and didn't realise it. jumped back off the stage, landed back by Geoff. I was like, yeah, fucking hell. And he said, look at your shorts. What did I have all on my shorts and my top? This guy's fucking blood all down here. It was literally like a verse out of Toxic Waltz. So I came away from there with a fucking great experience there that I wanted.
Brilliant show.
Like. Yeah. Met Kurt Brecht after the show. He was all right. I think at his age, he's kind of going through the motions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
not on stage though. I wouldn't have said like.
No,
he fucking gave it.
Yeah,
he gave it loads.
Yeah, he gave it loads, and his voice hasn't fit.
Sounded
quality, his voice is still great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sounded quality.
Yeah. So D.R.I is definitely our first choice because we do both believe that they are the best crossover band.
Great band. Yeah, if you're a metalhead, you're a punk, you're just hardcore, whatever, you'll find something in their discography, you'll fucking love it. Like
they appeal to metalheads, they appeal to punks, skinheads. There was skinheads there.
There was skinheads, there was long hairs, there was hardcore kids, there was punks. Like
it was circle pits like you wouldn't believe. It was just a lot of fun.
It was.
We've said even though maybe it wasn't jam packed, it was one of the most fun we've ever had at a gig. It was just great.
The crowd was great. The band were great. It was fucking class, wasn't it? And the set list was great.
So he's gone dealing with it. I've gone crossover.
Yeah, both great. Check them out. Now my second pick. Talked about these a little bit in the intro. Obviously, as I said, they were OGs, the godfathers of crossover. Suicidal Tendencies. I've gone with the debut self-titled album because personally, I'm not that into a lot of their other stuff. I know some of their later albums joined the army and that's maybe considered more crossover. This is so heavily influential, like I said at the beginning, on your Bay Area thrash bands. These obviously coming from Venice Beach. And it's fucking hardcore, like, but it's definitely got those chunkier, metallic sounds in there. Everybody knows Institutionalized. It was fucking massive, apparently, in America on MTV, that song. And not from fact, but I'm going to say, I reckon this album, out of like 80s hardcore, must be one of the highest selling. It must be, like. They were fucking huge, weren't they? Re-recorded some of it. That's still Psycho after all these years, or whatever it was called. Not that into that. But this is fucking great. Tunes on here, Subliminal, I Shot the Devil, Fascist Pig. It's fucking class. It's littered with classics. Just a fucking straight up great record, like I said. Easy to get hold of as well.
In my opinion, it is by far their best. I know some people do like the lights, camera action and stuff.
Action and join the army, and I'm not that into them personally, but this is fucking great. It's definitely like I say, it's still very hardcore skate, that skateboarding sort of thing around California at the time. They were definitely getting listened to, but these are the band, these are the bridge from. I think that, like I say, all the thrash bands were also getting influenced by them. Fucking class. If you've not heard that, go and check it out.
A few videos ago, I mentioned that Age of Quarrel was not my favourite Cro-Mags record. I caught a bit of heat for that. The time has come to show my favourite Cro-Mags record. It ain't Alpha Omega. It's this, Best Wishes.
Imagine if you'd held up Alpha Omega.
So yeah, okay, Harley Flanagan isn't as good a vocalist as John Joseph. We know that, but I think his voice works for this. You can really tell their interest in Hare Krishna coming through in this in this album. Obviously starts with Death Camps and Days of Confusion is great, but I think when it hits Down But Not Out, everything's fucking out the window. Then it's fucking time to smash things up. Yeah. There's a mosh part in the middle of it where the guitar tempo suddenly changes, and oh my god, oh, it's fucking great. It's fast, it's thrashing, it's stomping, it's melodic. It's got a bit of everything. It's fast. It's got the odd slow tune as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, Age of Quarrel is a 9. To me, this is a 10. I absolutely love it. I'm wearing a hat. I love Cro-Mags.
Love them.
Best Wishes is my second favourite.
Nice.
Is my second pick.
Which did you hear first, that or Age of Quarrel?
Age of Quarrel.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity.
No, yeah.
So my next pick, quite a big name in metal in general, I think nowadays. Corrosion of Conformity, Animosity. These are fucking, again, legendary band. A few periods of their career, really. The first album, Eye for an Eye, is a classic. It's iconic. It's got, you've probably seen the artwork if you've looked up some mid-80s hardcore albums. It's fucking great. This is like where the thrash is coming in. Like I said at the beginning, maybe just because it's tighter than the first album, so definitely a little bit more technical in terms of their playing abilities. But it's still short, fast and furious, like a hardcore album. 25 minutes, 10 songs, fucking rip past. I think the first tune is the longest on it. It's like 4 minutes. Pretty much everything else, maybe the title track actually is a little bit longer, but pretty much everything else clocks in around 2 minutes. Fucking blow your socks off, doesn't relent. It's class. They went quite sludgy I believe I've not really actually listened to as much as I do have a soft spot for some sludge metal, but I know they're considered fucking legends now in that scene. But this is where they tip the scales into like a crossover bit. This is, you know, dipping their toes in the metal fountain, so to speak. Fucking amazing, class, easier to get hold of than the debut.
Yeah, the debut you can't get fucking anywhere.
It's very hard to get. So yeah, the debut I prefer actually, to be fair. But I still think this is fucking class as well. It's brilliant, great crossover record. Go and check it out. Animosity, Corrosion, and Conformity.
I think you knew this was coming. Mr. Going on about New York hardcore all the time.
Not you.
But yeah, I've gone Leeway, Born to Expire. Amazing. I've always said this kind of sounds like if Exodus had stole a member from Beastie Boys and got him to sing for them. It's like the music is very, very thrash metal.
Yeah.
But the lyrics and the vocals are very rooted in New York hardcore. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The opener, Rise and Fall, is great. Mark of the Squealer. But when it gets to Enforcer, which is a song, by the way, about Clint Eastwood. Whoever I say, come on and make my day. This full of dollars is what you're gonna pay. That's when it all goes fucking out the window, as I said before. Yeah, brilliant all the way through. You know what was funny how I got this, actually? It's kind of a funny story. There's a second-hand shop in Liscard, and I just happened to be in there looking at records, and there was some long-haired sweat in there, some like old long hair in there, and he was selling all his records. And the girl didn't know what she was buying. She was just like, looking through, yeah. And then I just happened to be looking in, and I was like, well, you know, I'll buy some of these off you. And I was flicking through just like this, and this fucking popped up.
Nice.
Oh my god! I tried to play it cool, didn't I? I was like,
oh,
yeah. Go ahead, how much? A couple of quid, yeah. A couple of quid.
Like run as quick as you can.
I really fucking played the cool when I seen this. I remember. But I almost shit my pants when I seen this, honestly, and I managed to get this off him. So I've had this for a long time. That was about fucking 15, 16 years ago, do you know what I mean? And I've always loved this record. Obviously, with the New York hardcore connection, I was always going to love it, and I do love it. So yeah, Leeway, Born to Expire.
Nice. Well, funny enough, you're not going to have to go far, because I'm staying in the same city for my next pick as well.
And I think a lot of people thought I would pick this.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pick this, and you let me have it, to be fair, but I've gone for... Crumbsuckers, Life of Dreams, the debut album. It's fucking great.
Well, one thing I will say is I do believe it's got the best artwork in a crossover.
That is good artwork.
I love that artwork.
It's fucking great artwork, to be fair. Yeah. This is fucking cool as fuck. These are, I think they formed around 83. This is from 85, it's the debut. But it was 83-ish, you know, formed as like a hardcore band, and they got a second guitarist in who was shit hot and basically took a lot more influence from thrash metal. They were like... I've heard them talked about as being, when I was saying about people becoming proficient players and maybe going thrashers, these were actually all, much like people say about the Bad Brains, you know, they were all fucking amazing musicians anyway who chose to play hardcore. So, do you know what I mean? It wasn't that they decided, they got better and did thrash, started playing thrash more because of, you know, technical ability. They already could do it anyway. But, as I'm rambling a little bit, but this is a fucking class album, great songs on here, man. Fucking hell. The title track.
Trap!
Yeah.
Trap!
And that's quite slows down a bit, Trap, doesn't it? It goes into like quite a slow, metallic tempo at times. Brainwashed is fucking great. Face of Death's fucking great as well. Bullshit Society, shit. It's fucking cool. Littered with tunes. It's a bit of a Stone Cold classic in the New York.
I like it because I think the vocalist sounds like what you'd imagine a New York cab driver sounding like. His vocals.
I get what you're saying.
You can hear his accent, can't you?
You can tell exactly where he's from. And if you're probably from New York, you could probably pick out like what borough he was from, even what fucking, you know, neighbourhood. Like, but class, like I say, you've not heard that. It's a fucking little gem. If you're into New York hardcore, if you're into crossover, you should get on that. It's fucking class. Crumbsuckers, Life of Dreams.
This is the only CD I've got here now, and I've gone a slightly, maybe a bit more obscure.
Go on.
I've gone The Hating of the Guts by Hollier Now. Right. This band here, right, so this album, first off, let me talk about the album. The album's fucking great. Dumb Motherfucker, my favourite song on it, Single White Male, where he's basically just reading, Tinder wasn't around then, but if he was reading out his Tinder account, that's what the lyrics are. Yeah. It's hilarious. There's a lot of like comedy going on with the lyrics. But they're definitely more rooted, I'd say, in the punky side of crossover, definitely. Okay. Do you know what I mean? You can tell you were listening to a lot of Black Flag as well and stuff like that. But you know what I love about these, right? So I seen these about 20 years ago in Heaven and Hell. I went with AJ. Right, there was me, AJ, and maybe about 4 other people there. It was a really, really shit turnout, and I can't remember who supported. these came out, right? The singer was wearing a skirt, like a wedding dress or something like that, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Because we'd let someone, someone had advertised it to us after another gig and said, "Come to this next Saturday or whatever," and we went, and these came out in front of fucking no one, and I swear to God, they put on one hell of a fucking show. It did not matter that there was only like 5-6 people in the crowd. The singer was all over the place. He was hanging off the beams and everything while singing.
Nice.
The lightning fast hardcore crossover thrash. And honestly, they held nothing back. They held absolutely nothing back, considering there was hardly anyone in the crowd. And it's something I've always remembered. Yeah, and it's an example you should, they set an example there, when you're in a, me and you, probably everyone, we've all fucking had those gigs where you've played in front of fucking the bartender and the sound guy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And these are an example. That show, I'm not going to say these, I'm sure they've had far better turnouts than that particular gig. But that particular gig was a lesson to me. You want to fucking, you still fucking give it your all, do you know what I mean? And honestly, they really did. It was, you couldn't take your eyes, it was one of them where you could not take your eyes off them.
That's amazing.
They were going so mental, and it was just like, fucking hell, this is insane. Yeah. And I picked up the album, and the album was just as good as they were live. And I can't really believe they're not more well known, to be honest. This is on 6 Weeks Records. They do a Stalag 13 cover on here, which is cool as well. Okay. Yeah, the tune Rat Patrol, that's a great tune as well. But yeah, Holier Than Now, The Hating of the Guts. This is really good. You should check this out. Amazing.
Nice. So, last one for me. I've gone for American Paranoia by Attitude Adjustments. Bay Area crossover band. These are one of them where I think if you know a bit of hardcore or crossover, you probably know this album. You might know who they are.
Amazing.
Yeah, fucking brilliant.
Amazing.
They don't get talked about in the wider music press though when people talk about crossover. I don't find every time I'm reading, come across something about that. These aren't mentioned in the with the big heads. The big heads of the scene. Yeah. I think this is fucking brilliant. Like I say, these are from the Bay Area. So when I was talking before about those thrash bands and hardcore bands, these are like a melting pot of that. Right there. This is from 86, I think. Dope Fiend, fucking amazing tune. Napalm Death did a cover on their Leaders Not Followers 2, I think. But it's again, loads of tunes. It's it's hardcore as fuck, isn't it? It's fast, it's fucking great. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone of you know this, the drummer is on the first Machine Head album, In My Eyes.
Oh yeah.
I believe. But they're from Bay Area as well, so that wouldn't be like a massive leap. But it's fucking cool. Fucking great, I think. Maybe still going a little bit. Maybe some incarnation of them. I'm not familiar with much else of their discography, to be fair, other than this. As I say, it's fast, it's catchy, it's fucking crossover, it's thrashy, it's punk, it's hardcore. It's all of that mixed in, tunes after tunes. Yeah. I can't say much more than that, other than go and fucking listen to it. Yeah. Amazing.
I'm going to tell I'm going to give this a build up, this one.
Oh, here we go.
Right, so, remember seeing the first time I ever seen the band? Does anyone remember Semo Paramedics? Yeah. Horror themed thrash. We went. They were playing again in Heaven and Hell, same place as Holier Than Now. A lot of gigs in Liverpool were in Heaven and Hell at the time.
Semo Paramedics in there.
Yeah. This was when they very, very first started. Yeah. This gig, and we were down in the toilets, and one of our mates came out and went, "There's a load of fucking moshers putting makeup on down there." Right, we were all waiting for whatever band was coming on. No one really knew much about them at the time. Anyway, same moshers came out. Everyone's just stood around. There isn't a stage in Heaven and Hell. Next minute, just while everyone stood still, a fucking gig broke out, and it was Semo Paramedics, and they had people in the crowd fucking jumping all over you. I remember being particularly pissed off at that gig because the singer leaned on me like that, and he ruined my Fred Perry because he got fake blood all over it, and it was a new Fred Perry. But you know what? It was an unbelievable gig, and it was fucking great. And it was the first time maybe I'd seen a horror element, apart from like the Misfits and stuff. Yeah. It was probably the first time I'd seen like a horror element in punk, metal, whatever. Yeah. But I've got to say, these might very well be the first band to have like a horror element in, and that's The Accused. And this is more fun than an open casket funeral, with their horror mascot, Martha Splatterhead. Now, if I said to you, if I borrowed you this album and I said it's a crossover thrash album, and I said to you one of the best songs on it is a Cliff Richard cover, you'd go, "Fuck off, Danny," you know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure you've heard me talk about my absolute disdain for Cliff Richard.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure a lot of people do have disdain for Cliff Richard. Right. One of the best tunes on this is Devil Woman, which is a cover of a Cliff Richard song, right? And it's fucking great. Okay. Honestly, it's fucking brilliant. They make it their own, and it's really good. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they get the credit they deserve, because I think along with like D.R.I. and Suicidal, you all want to
definitely agree. They don't get.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the pioneers.
Yeah.
They also, as well, they went on to influence a lot of the grindcore bands. Like the vocalist is very Repulsion sounding in the vocals. Do you know what I mean? The best tune to me, I love. If I was gonna say to you, you don't want to hear no fucking Cliff Richard covers, listen to the song "Lifeless Zone," track 4. It's a real fucking balls to the wall thrash tune. But yeah, these are fucking well underrated, I think. Yeah. The Accused. Yeah, but that's my last pick anyway. More Fun Than an Open Casket Funeral by The Accused.
Nicely done.
I believe it's from 1987, but I could be wrong. I can't see a year on here. So that's a guess. That's a guess. But yeah, that's my last pick.
Nice. Well, those are our picks. So for honourable mention, I'm going to go Stormtroopers of Death, Speak English or Die.
I'm going to go a little bit more modern. I'm going to go Hazardous Mutation by Municipal Waste.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Join us next time. We're going to be doing top 5.
Front men, front women, front people, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Look forward to that one.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, Instagram, Facebook, give us a like and a follow, all that stuff, ring the bell. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
It's what I say, it's what I do. These are my reasons.